Hey, Mr. Wiedemer here from Mr. Wiedemer's History. Today we're going to talk a little bit about populism. This is 4.6 populism, and also a little bit review of whole Unit 4. Alright, so objective gets to be able to describe a populist movement change to America. Alright, first, what is populism? Populism is all about the farmers. Alright, all about trying to make life better for the farmers. In the late 1800s, farmers had many problems, such as falling prices, overproduction, currency inflation and deflation, and abuse of the railroads. Inflation means your money's worth less. More money in circulation, but no increase in the amount of products. That's why you can't just print money. It doesn't work. People's like, hey, we need more money. Why don't you print it? Yeah, it causes high inflation, hyperinflation. Doesn't work. See Germany circa 1939. Deflation. This is the big one here for farmers. Increased value of money and a decrease in general level prices. Basically, their prices of their products were dirt cheap. They made no money. And so, as far as had to sell crops for less, interest rates went up. And so, farmers could not pay off their debt. Farmers could not make payments at their home. Things were going really bad for the farmers thanks to deflation. So what we're going to do, we're going to join a union-like thing called the Grange. The Patrons of Husbandry, aka the Grange, started by Oliver Hudson Kelly. It's an educational movement to teach farmers how to maximize profit, how to make the most of what you have. Get farmers back on the right track. Created farm co-ops to help farmers buy supplies cheaper, sell goods, actually make a living. They want to help the lives of the farmers and also fight the corruption of the railroads. This is this picture here. As you see, the railroads basically, here's all the farmers, here's the people, and the railroads are running over them because that's what they did. The railroads were evil and corrupt, and the farmers did not like them because they were being abused by the railroads. But the Grange, the pseudo union, didn't really work out too well, so now we're going to go into politics. We're going to go create a political party called the Populist Party. Alright? And so they're going to have their national convention at Omaha, Nebraska, so naturally their platform is going to be called the Omaha Platform. 5 major things about the Omaha Platform you need to know. Alright, return to unlimited coinage of silver. There's a buttload of silver out there. Alright, way too much. And if we use all that silver, as a goal, it'll cause inflation, which will help the farmers out. Get rid of their deflation that there's really hurting them. We saw this in the Silver Purchase Act we talked about last time. And so, federal ownership of railroads. So railroads will no longer be corrupt and abuse their power and be an awful big business, but if the government owns it and regulates it, it'll be better for the farmers. Graduated income tax. The more you make, the more you're taxed. If you make a lot of money, you get taxed a lot. And so that'll help the government out, and that'll maybe help the lesser people. People make less money. Not lesser people, but people make less money. And so also proposed design to appeal organized labor, such as better working conditions, better hours, and also make a more democratic government, less corrupt. That means power to the people. Direct election of senators, referendums, all this recalled stuff that'll be coming along later on with the progressive era. Now, all this stuff, eventually comes true, but not for the populists. Election 1892, one of the most famous elections in all of American history. Very famous because of one simple fact, that the first time ever that a third party gained electoral votes. James Weaver, the populist, he had 22 electoral votes. It's always Democrat-Republican or Federalist Democrat-Republican. It's always, the two main parties. We're a two-party system in America. But in 1892, the populist, the third party, sneaks in, gains electoral votes. Unprecedented. And look at this. All the green here. You see out west, the miners, the farmers, they're going to vote populist. First time ever that's happened. Unprecedented. Election of 1892. Right? And then election of 1896 comes along, populist movements gaining ground, gaining power. Republicans nominate William McKinley on a platform pledging high tariffs, of course. The Republicans love their high tariffs during this time period. And the maintenance of the gold standard. Well, populists do not support this. Alright, so your Democrats can nominate William Jennings Bryan. He's kind of a populist. Alright, and he wants to discredit the gold standard, bring back free silver. Basically means that the miners can go to a mint and get their silver coin for free, so they can make money. Alright, and that would cause inflation eventually. Now, McKinley won his election mainly because Bryan was, for one, he was too young. He was only 36 years old, 1 year older than the minimum, and many people thought that was too young to be president. He's also very radical in his ideas, and so people really kind of shied away from him. They didn't know what he was going to do. They're kind of afraid of him, and so that's why he lost. And William Jennings Bryan will be around for a while because he'll lose another election and another election, and he never really wins an election for president. He also gets shamed at the Scopes monkey trial in the 1920s. We'll get to that a little later on in this course. But William Jennings Bryan will be around for a while. This is the last you'll hear of him. McKinley wins in 1896. As you see here, Democratic South with Bryan. Also the populists and the Great Plain farmers and the populists and the miners in the West. People voting for a Democrat, this populist style of candidate. Right, so the populists didn't win this election. Eventually, like I said, they got everything they wanted. The other two parties took populist ideas, as always happens with third parties. After the defeat of 1896, populists pretty much done for. They were not a force, but it really shows the power of a third party in America. Today, you have your Tea Party, which is a very powerful third party. They never win federal elections. They haven't. They probably never will. But they usually focus on one issue and one issue alone, and they're basically to push that issue and to get the two main parties to look at that issue more closely. And usually, if enough people gain enough ground, one of the two parties will look at that issue and take it as their own. And so, third parties are very important to American history, very important to democracy. It allows more power to the people, so to say. All right, view of a little bit of populism. All right, farmers are in trouble. They need help. Falling prices over production, currency, inflation, mainly deflation for the farmers. The farmers did not like deflation, and railroads were abusing them. All right, they formed a Grange to helped a bit, but soon realized unions wouldn't work. Started a political party, the Populist Party. All right, gained electoral votes in 1892. Unprecedented third party gained electoral votes. Okay, Mr. Weaver. And ceased existence in 1896, but all their goals would eventually be realized, so it was, I'd say, a success. Alright, a little bit of review over all this unit. Urbanization. Oh, what's this? You saw this before from Unit 3. I told you Unit 3 and 4 go together. The factors in facing industrialization. The 5 factors of industrialization that I've been preaching about this whole 2 units here. And now, you see, you can probably memorize this. You probably had this thing memorized already, and know all the 5 factors after listening to me ramble on about it for the last 2 units. Okay, we talked about immigration, how immigration had steadily supplied cheap labor. Immigrants were the backbone of America. Railroads made it so we have a national market for goods and services and moved people out west, helped settle the West. Also the first big business, most corrupt business. Natural resource. America has plenty of coal to fire up the factories, plenty of timber to ship out west to build houses and settlements. High tariffs to help protect American businesses and American goods. Lousy fair government policy, hands off. The government's going to allow big business to thrive and do pretty much whatever they want, which leads to corruption. Right? Review 4.1, America's built on immigration. Many immigrants came from Europe and Asia for a better life. America's land of opportunity, also the melting pot, came through Ellis Island, Angel Island. Many moved to cities. Labor pool was enlarged with unskilled workers willing to work for cheap, so labor unions did not like them. All right? And many people did not like immigrants. They were different than us. They were Catholic. They spoke different language. They looked different. All right? And so nativism really surfaced after this. Legislation such as the Chinese Exclusion Act was passed to limit immigration. 4.2, many immigrants moved to cities causing rapid growth, met rapid problems. Inadequate housing, shortage of police, firefighters, rise of crime. Many live in unsanitary, cramped tenement houses, brought to light by Jacob Riis in his book, How the Other Half Lives. Government built parks, aqueducts, hired more police and firefighters to help beautify the city, to help make the city life better. Skyscrapers were built in these limited spaces. So built up, department stores were built because everybody wanted stuff under one roof. And downtowns thrived. 4.3, Carnegie and other robber barons such as J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller used the term social Darwinism to describe the rise of power. That the survival of the fittest by Herbert Spencer, that they had the skills and their skill set helped them thrive and to become rich, right? Congress passed Sherman Antitrust Act to promote competition, limit trust and monopolies. Hard to enforce, made big business think about how they operated, though, in the eyes of the public, so it was a good, very good act. Growth of cities led to corruption. Political machines controlled the cities. They controlled the votes. They controlled the law. They controlled everything in the cities. And business and politics were mixed, and that was not good. Right? Many party bosses of the Tweed stole millions of dollars through illegal practices of government. Corruption at all levels, from the lowest mayor to the president of the United States. Grange president wrapped in scandals. Tariff issue arose. Two views of tariffs. You had the free traders who hated tariffs, want them gone. It was all about we needed competition. We needed free trade amongst countries to promote competition, supply and demand. Protections like, whoa, tariffs are awesome because they protect my business, they protect my goods. We like tariffs. Alright, so Hayes becomes president. Alright, in 4.4, Compromise of 1877 immediately wants to reform government in corruption, in shakedowns and riders, ending corruption. He does a pretty good job at that. Then Garfield comes in, wins the election in 1880, but was assassinated 4 months later by a disgruntled office seeker, which later found out the doctors actually killed Garfield, not the bullet, and it was killed because they didn't know what they were doing. And so, civil service reform and Act of Pendleton Act was created so no one can just go and, hey, I want the job. Okay, you can have this job. So they have to pass a test and be qualified for the job, thanks to the Pendleton Act. Grover Cleveland won 84-92, making him the first and only president to have 2 non-consecutive terms. Grover Cleveland. High tariff, main issue of the day. Billion-dollar Congress wastes all the money, old surplus we have, by giving it to special interest groups. 4.5, American culture was changing in the late 1800s. More people were getting education, both high school and higher education. Famous authors such as Mark Twain, Stephen Crane. Realism was popular in art and literature and everything. Yellow journalism, dime novels were prevalent. People, if you didn't have any news, they made it up, sensationalized in tabloids. Alright, more leisure time for people meant more activities such as baseball, museums, and theaters. 4.6, farmers were in trouble and in need of help. Falling prices, overproduction, currency inflation, deflation, abuse of the railroads. What are we going to do? We're going to form like a union called the Grange to help out. That didn't work, so we're going to the politics. And we have a political party called the Populist Party. And that third party finally gained electoral votes, 22 of them in 1892 election, but 1896 ceased to exist. But all their goals were eventually realized. So populist movement was very, very important to American history. There's sources, so there you go. A little bit about industrialization, urbanization in America. Remember, this is happening at the same time as we're settling the West. The same time. All this is going on here. Give a little bit of perspective of American history after the Civil War to the first part of the 20th century, right? Industrialization, urbanization. There you go. There you have it. I hope you memorize that chart. 5 factors for industrialization. Know that. Learn that. That will help you out. And until next time, that's the end of Unit 4. I'm Mr. Wiedmer. So long. And don't forget, study history.